Hello and welcome to GameGen. If you love building bases, commanding armies, and outsmarting your enemies in real time, you're in for a treat. 2025 is shaping up to be a pretty exciting year for RTS fans, with a bunch of new games bringing fresh ideas, unique settings, and some seriously epic battles. From sci-fi warfare to medieval skirmishes and even a few weird surprises, there's a lot to look forward to. So, let's dive into some of the most interesting real-time strategy games coming in 2025. Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War. Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War Definitive Edition is officially happening, and yep, it's the classic RTS from 2004, but polished up for 2025. Relic is giving the original Dawn of War the full modern treatment with all the campaigns, expansions, 9 factions, and over 200 maps bundled into one big nostalgic package. Expect 4K support, way better lighting and textures, 4 times sharper, updated shadows, reflections, and even unit glow-ups that make everything feel crisper without losing that gritty, grim dark charm. It's also running on a 64-bit engine now, which means tons of modding potential. And yep, it'll still support 2 decades worth of mods. Basically, if you've ever yelled, "For the Emperor!" at your screen, this is your moment. EverSiege Untold Ages. EverSiege Untold Ages is like if your favorite tower defense game had a baby with a chaotic action RPG, then threw in roguelite twists to keep you hooked. You and up to 2 friends get dumped into Bastion, humanity's last scrap of hope, and have to defend it against waves of nasty creatures hell-bent on wrecking your day. Every run is different thanks to randomized upgrades, enemy spawns, and loot, so you'll never know if you're about to steamroll the hordes or get absolutely stomped. The gameplay is a wild mix of hacking through enemies in real-time combat, scrambling to patch up crumbling defenses, and make those big-brain decisions like, do I upgrade my walls now, or gamble on finding sick legendary weapons later? D.O.R.F. Real-Time Strategic Conflict. If you missed the golden era of CNC and Tiberian Sun, D.O.R.F. is your love letter to that era, with a modern twist. It's an isometric RTS built on OpenRA, with land, air, and sea units, resource harvesting, base building, and massive battles. You lead one of 3 factions: the Empire, Savage Barbarians, or the tech-driven New World Order. Each faction has its own style: super tanks, zeppelins, mechas, and airships. There's even logistics and supply chains built in, so you really feel like you're running a war machine. Visually, the retro sprites plus modern effects give off that nostalgic warmth, complete with snow and desert map interactions. It's a modern homage to classic 90s real-time strategy. Just enough new ideas to feel fresh. Hey, if you're enjoying this video and want to see more like it, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out the channel and lets me know you want more content like this. Alright, back to the video. Stronghold Crusader Definitive Edition. The classic is back, and it's looking sharper than ever. Stronghold Crusader Definitive Edition takes that old-school medieval siege warfare you might have played in your school days and gives it a fresh coat of paint without losing its old charm. You'll still be managing your castle, gathering resources, and flinging cows with trebuchets, but now everything looks crisper and smoother. The gameplay stays true to what made the original a cult hit: tight economic management, creative base building, and chaotic siege battles with hundreds of units on screen. This Definitive Edition includes all the original campaigns, maps, and scenarios, plus some brand new missions and quality of life upgrades. Front RTS. If you love real-time strategy games but want something grittier and a little more grounded, Front RTS might be the one to watch. Set in a dusty, diesel-punk-style wasteland, this game ditches the traditional shiny sci-fi or fantasy setting for something a bit more brutal and gritty. You're not just building bases here, you're fighting over scarce resources in an unforgiving desert where every decision counts. The maps are full of terrain that actually matter: choke points, elevation, and ambush spots that you'll use to your advantage if you're clever. The visuals are sharp, the UI looks clean, and the gameplay seems like a nice blend of old-school RTS vibes with modern quality of life updates. Empire Eternal. Empire Eternal is basically what you'd get if Empire Earth, Age of Empires, and Civilization all had a super ambitious baby. It's a real-time strategy game where you start off in the prehistoric era. Think cavemen and wooden clubs, and you slowly work your way through 20 different ages until you're commanding futuristic mechs and flying warships. You'll be building cities, managing your resources, like food, stone, wood, classic RTS stuff, and figuring out the best place to drop buildings so that everything runs smoothly. And yep, there's a big focus on battles as well. There's also politics, economics, a deep tech tree, and even plans for seasonal changes, global maps, and space combat. Each culture you pick also plays differently, with their own unique units and styles. Broken Arrow. Broken Arrow is a modern warfare real-time tactics game that's basically World in Conflict meets Wargame Red Dragon. It drops you right into large-scale battles with real-world military units, and it gives you insane control over army composition. Tanks, jets, helicopters, infantry squads, you build your loadout before the fight, then deploy and adapt in real time. The cool part, it's not just about raw firepower. You have to think tactically, use terrain, set ambushes, manage supply lines, and coordinate combined arms. A smart maneuver can turn the tide of battle way more than just throwing units at the problem. The maps are massive and detailed, letting you fight across forests, cities, coastlines, and more. Europa Universalis V. Grand strategy fans, it's time to clear your calendars. Europa Universalis V is finally on the horizon. Paradox is back with a new installment in the historical strategy series that's all about rewriting the course of world history, one diplomatic blunder at a time. And this time, it looks like they're going big with quality of life upgrades, deeper systems, and a seriously polished UI. As usual, you'll pick a nation, anywhere from tiny tribal kingdoms to rising empires, and guided through centuries of political maneuvering, war, exploration, and trade. But EUV promises to bring even more depth to internal politics, religious movements, and the global economy. It's the same rich sandbox, but smoother, more reactive, and with a map that looks cleaner and more detailed than ever. The Scouring. The Scouring is what happens when you take the classic Warcraft RTS formula and throw in a bunch of modern twists. It's a fantasy real-time strategy game where you play as either humans or orcs, with goblins and ogres tagging along for the orcs, and your main job is to build up your base, gather resources, and raise a massive army to crush your enemies. But here's where it gets interesting. There's a full day and night cycle. During the day, you're out there expanding and fighting other players or AI, but at night, waves of undead show up and try to wreck your base. So it's not just about fighting your rival, it's also about surviving the darkness. You can jump into an action RPG mode where you control your hero directly, level them up, and grab loot, while the rest of your army and base runs on AI. Lessaria Fantasy Kingdom Sim. Lessaria Fantasy Kingdom Sim is basically what you'd get if the Majesty series had a glow up and came back with modern flair. It's a city builder and real-time strategy game, but instead of barking orders at your troops, you're more like the behind-the-scenes ruler who motivates heroes with gold, bounties, and a bit of magical encouragement. You don't directly control your heroes, they've got minds of their own. You build guilds, toss out rewards, and hope that your adventurers feel like dealing with the giant spider nests before it eats your peasants. It's unpredictable, kinda chaotic, and really fun once you get into the rhythm of influencing instead of commanding. There's a full city building layer as well, where you manage your economy, construct useful buildings, and try not to run out of resources. Era 1. Era 1 is shaping up to be a super ambitious mix of real-time strategy, space survival, and sci-fi base building, with a good splash of drama. It's set in a future where Earth is basically used up, and humanity's last hope is to spread across the stars in search of resources. Of course, things don't go smoothly. There's conflict, shady mining operations, pirates, and even genetically engineered biominers messing everything up. Gameplay-wise, Era 1 gives you total freedom to build and customize everything. From massive space stations to deadly warships. Want to design a bulky battle cruiser or a sleek exploration vessel? Go wild! It's all modular, so you can tweak engines, weapons, cargo holds, whatever suits your playstyle. Sanctuary Shattered Sun. If Supreme Commander had a futuristic cousin set on the surface of a Dyson sphere, it would be Sanctuary Shattered Sun. This is a real-time strategy game on a seriously massive scale. Think entire battlefields that span 20 by 20 kilometers and armies made up of thousands of units, from nimble fighters to skyscraper-sized war machines. What makes Sanctuary stand out is just how much control and depth you get. You can zoom way in to watch individual missiles in flight, or zoom all the way out for a full tactical overview of the entire battlefield. And when they say every shot matters, they mean it. Combat is fully simulated, so lasers, missiles, and even terrain-shattering super weapons all play out in real time. IMMORTAL: Gates of Pyre. Immortal Gates of Pyre is a free-to-play RTS game that mixes classic base-building strategy with MOBA and action RPG vibes. Perfect for players who want epic battles without micromanaging every little thing. You play as an immortal, a godlike commander leading your faction's armies to claim dominance in a vibrant sci-fi fantasy world of strange creatures, ancient secrets, and magical energy. Matches start with you controlling a small outpost and some workers, but it quickly ramps up as you gather resources, scout your opponents, build up armies, and try to control the map. Expansion is risky but rewarding, and well-timed attacks, especially while your opponent is distracted, can really pay off. Panzer Strike. This one is a classic, coming all the way from 1988. Panzer Strike focused on small-scale combat, where each unit was a single vehicle or infantry squad, and each turn represented just 1 minute of intense battlefield action. The gameplay was all about detailed orders and deep strategy. You'd plan out movements and attacks during the orders phase, then watch it all unfold in the combat phase. With over 250 types of weapons and meticulous stats for every unit, like morale, speed, and armor, it really leaned into historical accuracy. There was even vehicle damage by hit location, which was super advanced for the time. It also had a scenario editor and lengthy campaign mode where losses actually carried over, so every decision mattered. It was praised for its realism but could be slow to play and had some clunky interfaces. Becoming Saint. Becoming Saint is a new roguelike strategy game where you play as a 14th century preacher trying to win over medieval Italy. Not with swords, but with sermons. The goal? To become a saint. Or at least avoid getting burned at the stake along the way. You start out in a CC with a few followers and pick up a mix of slightly heretical beliefs to build your own weird little religion. From there, you travel from town to town, trying to convert people in real-time strategy-style conversion battles. Think less about killing enemies and more about convincing them you've got the better pitch. You can recruit all kinds of different characters to help you out. Nuns, jesters, witches, courtesans, each with their own quirks and strengths. I hope you found this video helpful. Be sure to leave a comment below if any of these games caught your eye, or if there are other upcoming releases you'd like to hear about. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking and subscribing for more gaming content in the future. Thanks for watching.